I want to begin with a heartbreaking update to a story we've been following all morning. We've just learned a pregnant mother was shot and killed in her DeKalb County apartment overnight. I'm Tyler Fingert in for Alex Whitler. Thanks for joining us for the news at noon. The family of 23-year-old Shakiya Pridgen says someone fired several shots through her window at the Woods at Peachtree Apartments. Fox 5's Annie Mapp joins us live with the very latest.
All right, we're getting ready to turn this thing out. Baby shower time. Get ready to open up them gifts. Hey, mama and daughter, get ready to do their thing.
A Sunday afternoon filled with laughter, colorful balloons, and gift bags stacked high. A young mother, 9 months pregnant, sitting in the center of it all, glowing. Her family is around her. Her kids are running around. Everyone is smiling. Everyone is counting down the days. Now picture this. 48 hours later, that same young woman is lying in her bed in the middle of the night, her 1-year-old and her 3-year-old tucked in right beside her, fast asleep, safe, at peace. And someone is standing outside her window in the dark. And they are taking aim. 8 shots, through the window, while she slept. By the time the sun came up that Tuesday morning in June of 2026, 23-year-old Shakiya Pridgen was gone. And so was the baby boy she was supposed to bring into the world the very next week. Let me say that again. Her baby shower was on Sunday. She was murdered on Tuesday. And her son, who had already been given a name, who had already been celebrated, who had already been loved by people who had never even met him yet, he never got to take a single breath. This story is going to stay with you, and it should. If you are new here, subscribe and hit the like button so more people can find these stories. These victims deserve to be heard. Now let us get into it. Let me tell you about Shakiya before we talk about what happened to her. Because the way these stories usually go, the crime gets all the attention and the person gets forgotten. Not here. Shakiya Pridgen was 23 years old and she was a mother first. That was who she was at her core. She had a 3-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son, and by all accounts, those children were her whole world. The people closest to her described her as warm, loving, and the kind of person who would show up for you without being asked. Her father, Paco Pridgen, said she had a good heart. And when a father says that about his daughter, you believe it. She lived in the woods at Peppertree Apartments on Peppertree Circle in DeKalb County, Georgia, which is a large, diverse community just outside of Atlanta. Not a small, quiet town, a real city, with real families, with real people just trying to build something and get through the day. That is exactly what Shakiya was doing. She was building something. She was doing the hard, everyday, unglamorous work of raising children, staying focused, and looking forward. She was going to church. She was taking care of her kids. She was preparing for her 3rd child, a baby boy, who was due to arrive any day.
Shakiya, Shakiya, my angel, Pridgen.
She was 23?
23 years old, a mother of 2 with 1 on the way.
And tell me about it was like you just had the shower was last weekend or it was coming up?
Shakiya just had a baby shower on Sunday.
She was 40 weeks pregnant, full term, ready. And she had just named him. The family had gathered on a video call for a virtual baby shower where everyone got to vote on the name. The options were passed around. A little girl named Hermione pulled one name. A little boy named Cash pulled another. The name they landed on was Kieran, baby Kieran Pridgen. A name chosen with joy and laughter and the kind of family energy that makes you feel like everything is going to be okay. Everything was not going to be okay. Here is where it gets complicated. And here is where it gets important. Shakiya had been in a relationship with a 26-year-old man named Devin Lamar Anthony. And Devin Anthony was not just her ex. He was the father of the baby she was carrying, the baby they had made together. The baby who had already been given a name. Now, I am not going to tell you every detail of what their relationship looked like behind closed doors, because the truth is, most of us never know what goes on inside someone else's home. What we do know is that the relationship had ended. Shakiya had moved on. She was focused on her children and on bringing her son safely into the world. That should have been the end of it. But some people cannot accept an ending. Here is something else you need to know about Devin Anthony. something that makes this entire situation even more painful to sit with. In 2021, Devin Anthony shot and killed another man. He was charged and convicted of voluntary manslaughter in Fulton County, and his punishment? He served just 11 months. 11 months for taking a human life. He was released on probation. And as part of that probation, a judge gave him a direct order, a clear, specific legal order: never touch a firearm again. He violated that order in February of 2026, when authorities found he had failed a drug test and revoked his probation. But he was still out, still free, still walking around. And on a Tuesday morning in June of 2026, he found his way to Shakiya's window. It was around 5 in the morning. DeKalb County police were called to the woods at Pepper Tree Apartments. The call came in at 5:15. Shakiya was asleep. Her toddlers were asleep beside her, curled up the way small children do, completely unaware of the world outside their mother's arms. That is where children are supposed to be, safe, next to their mom. Someone had walked up to the bedroom window from the outside. Someone who knew the layout of that apartment. Someone who knew where her bed was. Someone who had been there before. And they fired. Not once. Not twice. Reports indicate that close to a dozen shots came through that window. The glass shattered. The bullets tore through the room. And Shakiya Pridgen, 40 weeks pregnant, days away from holding her son for the first time, was hit multiple times. Her 2 small children survived. By some miracle, they were not struck, but their mother did not survive. She was rushed to Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta. Grady is one of the best trauma centers in the entire Southeast. Doctors and nurses who have seen everything did everything they could. It was not enough. Shakiya Pridgen was pronounced dead at approximately 5:45 that same morning, less than 30 minutes after police arrived. And baby Kyron went with her.
The family of 23-year-old Shakiya Pridgen is devastated.
She was targeted in that bedroom. She was sleeping with her 2 children in the bed with her. They made it. They were beside her sleeping when I got to the apartment. But I want the world to know that somebody took a blessing from all of us.
Let me tell you something. Grief looks different on different people. Some people go quiet, some people fall apart. And some people, in the middle of the worst moment of their lives, find a way to stand up and speak. Shakiya's family stood up. Her mother, Verdina Scott, said something that should stop every single person reading this in their tracks. She said they had taken a blessing from all of us. And she was right. They did not just take Shakiya. They took Kyron. They took a daughter from a mother. They took a mother from 2 toddlers. They took a future from an entire family. Her father, Paco Pridgen, stood outside that apartment building with bullet holes still visible in his daughter's window, shattered glass still on the ground beneath it, and he said something powerful. He said Devin Anthony had been given a second chance and his daughter had not. He said it clearly and directly. If Anthony had still been in prison, Shakiya would still be alive. He was right. And here is the part that is hardest to process. The family did not just lose their daughter. They had to go from planning a baby shower to planning 2 funerals, mother and son, together. That is a level of heartbreak that most of us cannot even imagine. Investigators moved fast, and thank God they did. Working alongside the United States Marshals Service, the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office tracked Devin Anthony to a home on Quail Hunt Drive in Riverdale, Georgia. He was arrested that same Tuesday evening. The same day, he was charged with malice murder, feticide, which is the killing of an unborn child, a separate charge that recognizes Kieran's life as its own, aggravated assault with intent to murder, criminal damage to property in the 1st degree, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, 5 counts of aggravated assault. He was booked into the DeKalb County Jail without bond, no bail, no walking out the door this time. DeKalb County Sheriff Melody Maddox released a statement calling it an act of senseless violence that devastated a family and a community. And she was right. But let us be honest with each other for a second. This was not random. This was not senseless in the way a stranger attack is senseless. This was targeted. This was calculated. This was a man who walked to a specific window in the early hours of the morning and fired nearly a dozen rounds into the room where the mother of his child was sleeping. That is not senseless. That is intentional. The family had said it from the very beginning. They called it domestic violence. They called it premeditated. And the evidence seems to agree with them. I need you to sit with this for a minute before we wrap up. Shakiya Pridgen was not a headline. She was not a statistic. She was a 23-year-old woman who was doing everything right. She was raising her kids. She was going to church. She was excited about her baby. She had just opened baby gifts, surrounded by people who loved her, and she was 2 weeks away from the delivery room. And a judge's order was supposed to protect her. A piece of paper that said this man could not have a gun. But that piece of paper meant nothing when no one was watching. When he was already out, when he had already failed his drug test and had his probation revoked but was still free. Shakiya's family made a point that I think deserves to echo far beyond this video. They said it simply and without any bitterness in their voice. If he had stayed in prison for killing someone the first time, Shakiya would be alive right now. She would be holding Kieran. Her babies would have their mother. And a little boy named Kieran Pridgen would be here with us. He is not, and she is not. To Shakiya Pridgen, you deserved more. You deserve to watch your children grow up. You deserve to hold Kieran for the first time and count his fingers and whisper his name and see who he was going to become. You deserved every single day that was stolen from you, and this channel will always make sure your name is spoken. To her children, the 3-year-old daughter and the 1-year-old son, who were right there when it happened and somehow made it through, you are not alone. Your family has promised to love you and raise you and keep your mother's name alive, and I believe them. To anyone watching this who is in a situation that feels like it could go wrong, who has someone in their life who makes you afraid, please take it seriously. Please talk to someone. Please get help. Because Shakiya's story is not just a tragedy. It is a warning. And it is a reminder that danger does not always announce itself. Our deepest condolences go out to the Pridgen family, to Verdina Scott, to Paco Pridgen, and to everyone who is carrying this loss today. May Shakiya and Kieran rest in peace. May they be remembered not for how they died, but for how loved they were. Stay safe out there. See you in the next one.